This winter solstice, the 333 gateway to heaven on earth, and the 1221 portal could not align at a better timeline for us to be entering the golden city to reap our rewards. So stay tuned. I'm going to share with you the 4 phases of ascension so you can understand your new beginning. Let's go! Hi everyone, my name is Dr. Harmony. I'm a twin flame ascension expert helping twin flames, starseeds, and light workers around the globe in order to unlock their hidden power and align with their highest truth. And what I want to share with you today is an extension to the last video that I put out, which, by the way, happy solstice, happy gateway to heaven, the 333 ascension, as well as the 1221 portal, all perfectly aligned on today. And I've been trying to really deliver all of this message, this information that I've been compiling for several years now to you before now, but it was not ready to come out until now. So I got out of the way, and it's perfectly aligned in this portal to help you understand what's going on with this portal in perfect alignment as I release this information. So make sure to check out the last video. I'll make sure to have a link to that. I also want you to know that I'm compiling a Twin Flame Ascension playlist, and that this will all be there. So there's going to be several videos coming into this playlist or the series, so stay tuned. And so today I'm going to talk to you about what is the Twin Flame Ascension in more detail. In the last video, I explained more about the timeline, more about how it connects to your twin flame, more about the collective mission, and an understanding of the importance of this timeline and this portal. So now I want to take you deeper into the ascension process and talk about what is ascension and give you a greater understanding of what it really means. So, ascension is really this never-ending self-actualization process that begins at the moment that your soul decides it wants freedom, basically. And it chooses to go through these lessons, this dark night of the soul, to be activated to create an enlightenment, but also through the concept of the spiritual awakening. So basically, this ascension process is really the pathway to heaven on earth. And what is the difference between ascension and twin flame ascension? Really, everyone in the entire planet is going up in ascension. Everyone's awakening. Everyone is in this portal. But the twin flame ascension is connected to how you are part of the collective mission that chose through the connection of your twin flame to personally activate at this deeper level to create more light, to create more of your own vibration coming up in an elevated version, to unlock more of your truth and your wisdom of your higher soul, and to activate you in such a way that your light body retains the light in order to anchor and download this diamond light from heaven to earth and raising that earth frequency so that we can shift through this process of this diamond light era, which is really called the golden era. It is restoring heaven and earth. It is the restoration of Avalon, which I've been shown. I'm writing a whole book on that, so stay tuned. I'm sure more to become as well as I deliver this. But it's really the merging of your soul coming into alignment of oneness and coming into the unification of yourself inward wise, but on the collective scale. What that means is Avalon is literally the harmony in heaven on earth within. And how we attain that within is also changing the collective consciousness as we merge the energies of the masculine and the feminine universal conscious energies and we heal and restore the energy and the soul shock and the trauma between Atlantis, the fall of Atlantis, and Lemuria, and everything in between, and lots of other things. But by restoring and reviving that energy, we're being taken back to this restoration of all the energy of back to the beginning of time, even prior to Eden, into, Atlantis, when it was the Golden City. So this ascension process is made up of 4 phases that I've been shown. And those 4 phases are the rebirth phase, the resurrection, the rapture, and the reunion. In addition to that, the ascension process has 11 stages within the rebirth itself. And I'm going to be sharing that with you in a video. But in that, we also then have 11 lessons that our soul must master. And we have 11 steps that we personally come into this alignment within finding true love within, which takes the twin flame to help you inwardly to connect to the outward rebirth of this bigger picture. Today, I'm going to share with you much deeper on the process of these 4 phases and an understanding of more of the rebirth. And then I will be bringing to you separate videos to talk about basically the actual stages of the rebirth, to talk about the 11 lessons that you must learn and be mastered to become the ascended master through this 3-3 portal, in order to basically come into this personal freedom. So the pathway is the ascension pathway of heaven and earth. That is the ascension, but it is also the rebirth part of that, bringing you through this bridge, this diamond light bridge of resurrecting through the rainbow light from basically where you are to who you are going to be, and the death of yourself, so to speak. But I'm also going to share with you different types of relationships, again, on how they can become your facilitators or your activators or your teachers to help accelerate your ascension as well, based on multiple types of quantum entanglement types of relationships. So stay tuned for that as well. So we're going to start then by reviewing these 4 phases of the ascension. We're going to first start with the rebirth phase, and that phase is really like the awakening to the desire for more fulfillment in all areas of your life, in order for you to be able to connect and unlock your hidden truth, align with your authentic self, come into a place of heart freedom, and be able to connect in a way that you find love for yourself, really. And again, it's going to be the next, I think it's going to be the next video that comes, that I'm going to talk to you about these 11 steps of the rebirthing process, which is the pathway to freedom. We'll go from there. But I want to give you a bigger picture of the rebirth part. First of all, the rebirth itself is the hardest part of this journey, because it's literally a rebirth. It's literally the death of yourself, going across that rainbow bridge that I mentioned, and letting go, like the shaman's death, letting go of the old ways, your old self, and you're really what it really represents. If we're heading into this golden era, and we're returning back to the resurrection into the golden city and restoring that golden era, then what this is it's walking the golden path to get there. And in order to walk that path, that golden path back home, you have to then unlock those golden memories of that ancient wisdom that you came here to connect with. Now, you connect to this information through your golden thread, and also to your twin through that golden thread. That is how you give and receive telepathy and information and collect this energy. And so you're unlocking this so that you can receive the golden heart. So when you attain this personal freedom, you find the completeness, the wholeness, the love for yourself. You've come into balance with your masculine, your feminine energies, and you're finding harmony in your life. It's the heart becomes in harmony of its give and take. You're giving, but you're also receiving in such a way that that's created harmony. And I have an image of this that my artist is working on with the card deck I talked about. That's the heart freedom is with the wings on the heart, and there's a crown on the heart. So as you return back to this process of this rebirthing and letting go of yourself, then it's basically the crown that you receive of many colors of the rainbow spectrum through the bridge. You know, this is how this kind of links to the biblical principles I talked about in the last video, which, by the way, if you're just coming into this one, that's not religion, it's biblical principles. So in the rebirth, then, you are letting go. This is where you're letting go of your identity. You're letting go of your old ways. You're letting go of the karma. You're releasing the connection to the old programs. And so that's why I actually started, you probably didn't know this when I was putting these things out there, but that's why I started really putting out these programs to be every portion of what you needed along the way to facilitate. And if you've been following those and you're accelerating nicely, then kudos, keep moving forward with these next stages that we're going to talk about. However, if you're coming into this and you still need some of this rebooting or this rebirthing process, then I'm going to share with you the resources on how to do that here on kind of a higher place, but know that there'll be some resources below that link to this for you. So ways that you can basically accelerate that ascension is to reboot your soul. And that's what the foundation of my primary program is, that I work one-on-one with clients. I have an online course for rebooting your soul. And I even have a 11-part video series that's free to help you understand that process. Rebooting your soul really means that you need to release your past. You need to release all the karma, the soul contracts, cut energetic cords of attachment. You need to work on the forgiveness work. And then you need to start doing things to awaken and unlock your soul's blueprint and to elevate and raise your vibration, which is the second part of that reboot. You're raising the vibration. So not only are you letting go, which is creating space to raise your vibration, but then you start implementing things to unlock and to accelerate and to amplify your vibration going up. And as your vibration goes up, two things happen with this release and raise. You raise your vibration, and that light then basically shines light on all your shadows. So the higher you go in that raised frequency, the deeper it takes you into a shadow coming out of it, which is these highs and lows that people keep having. So if you've went up in vibration, the lower karmic stuff can't live, so it sends you back to clear more. And you clear, and you get it kind of cleared, and you start feeling better, and you raise your vibration again, and then all of a sudden you're dove back into that to do some more clearing, because it can't live in this vibration within yourself anymore, as you literally, your own soul, your own template, your own inner grid. I'll talk about grid work coming up at some point too. But we have our own template within that is our light, is our light body. And that light body becomes activated to carry more of that light from heaven to earth of the rainbow diamond light as we anchor and embody it. And then we integrate with that. So then as you release all of that, then you are raising your vibration to the point where you're aligning with the highest version of you, the higher truth, the higher timeline. And that then starts to attract towards you the things that match your highest version of you. And that is where it's reclaiming your life, love, and livelihood from that place. So it's literally like a reboot of your soul, of releasing your past, raising your vibration, and reclaiming your life from a higher state of being. And so that's one way. And there's multiple ways that I've helped people do that for many years now. That's been the primary thing I've done. And then the second way is what I've been seeing is that not only do we have to release our soul's karma and all of that past energetic attachment to complete our soul contract, which, by the way, there'll be a link below, resource complete your soul contract checklist, make sure to check that out. That is something that has to be accomplished through this rebirth to master, become the master, the ascended master of the highest version of you. So completing your soul contract means that you need to accomplish the lessons that you learned, let go of the karma that you contracted with, complete contracts with people in order, including your twin flame, in order to come into this version of yourself at the highest state, because all of these things are activating you and accelerating you to connect to these things. But what I was about to tell you is that we also contract with our parents as our primary teachers of our life, of this lifetime, even a little superseding the twin, because whatever you have going on with your twin is going on with your parents, and they send each other back and forth because your parents represent your primary relationships in life and how you interact from a place of love. And you chose your parents for major life lessons of this life, and you chose them to be able to experience these particular things that was to master this life. So if you've been working on everything up to this point from past life, and you're missing this life's lessons of what you learned from your parents, and then in addition to that, reprogram the subconscious programming that's keeping you attached to all the karma, that's what this program is so about, so powerful. And there'll be a link below. And right now it's still in special for $37 at the first year. After the first year, it's going up. And so make sure you check it out. The link at the how to access that will be below. Because if you don't reprogram how you're processing, you can let go, but you're taking it all back. And that's down to with your twin flame. And so basically in that, there's a rebirthing process to rewrite your birth, RIGHT. So you're rewriting your birth, you're reprogramming your childhood wounds, and then you need to restore your heart. So you can let down the walls of protection, trust this process and let love in so you can give and receive love. And then doing all of these things within what I just said, rebooting your soul, rewriting your birth itself, and learning your lessons from your parents, and then reprogramming your childhood wounds and restoring your heart back into the harmony of this golden heart that I'm talking about. That then activates your higher self to unlock the wisdom in order to bring in the divinity of your soul to support you and accelerate you through this ascension process. And so what we're really doing is we're restoring the oneness within. We're returning to the innocence of the beginning of our timeline, the beginning of the era. I'm actually even being shown to take clients back to pre-fall of Atlantis and going back into the Golden City to be able to restore the soul template back to its original state in the Golden City. This is accelerating people's process. So make sure to consider that, because that is something that I've been shown more recently that's so powerful. And basically what we're doing then is we do this recollection of ourselves. So we're clearing everything, we're correcting what's out of balance, and then we're collecting the energy we've lost through the soul retrieval in this rebirthing process. And that is creating this wholeness and oneness within ourselves that's accomplishing the collective mission of the oneness and consciousness that I referred to in the last video. And this collective tip and scale between, this masculine and energy, this feminine energy, and the shadows and this light on the universal scale has shifted. The war is over. That doesn't mean you can't get out of all your personal lessons, but you can accelerate them, and you don't have to continue to go through the old process, the old ways. You can implement the new templates, use them to bring this together. So basically, the war's over, the destruction has been done, and we are now rebuilding with what is left within ourselves and within, all of the programs on this universal scale of family curses and generational bloodlines and cultural conditions. We're restoring all of these templates into new defining roles. That includes the role with your twin that you need to release in this rebirth process. Make sure to check out the last video because I go into great detail about how your twin connects to this and how that, the future and the potential destiny of how you go forward in this collective consciousness with your twin. Okay, and there'll be more to come on that too. But in number 2 is the resurrection. So we have rebirth through that rainbow bridge, basically, of the death of ourself and coming into letting go into the new identity, restoring all of our colors, excuse me, from every timeline. And that's the soul retrieval, where every life that we've incarnated from a different color ray. I talk about this in my book, Twin Flame Code Breaker. You're restoring the energy from each of those timelines. And when you do, you're then creating like the diamond light within you. So there's no more actual color rays anymore, because we're restoring our soul into the diamond light of the rainbow spectrum of all our many colors from every lifetime. And as we collect all of those pieces, we're then making a connection in this resurrection within ourselves. We're making a connection to our mind, our body, our heart, and our soul in such a way that we're integrating all that we've learned in our higher self, our higher soul, our higher wisdom, and we're implementing that within our life and our purpose and our truth of going forward, of how we go forward with this energy. And to do that, that is the Golden Gate Bridge, basically. When we cross the rainbow bridge of the death of ourselves and coming into the resurrection, kind of merging these so you understand how they flow. You're crossing the death of yourself, the rainbow bridge, just like our animals pass. And they talk about the rainbow bridge. This is going back into like heaven on earth now of the new self, the new innocence, but resurrecting into the new version of you. And this all becomes now the Golden Heart and the Golden Gate Bridge. And this is where I was in San Francisco when all of this came together for, my understanding of this. So, and then the twin flame friend I was with was getting same kinds of codes, and she had codes and I had codes, and we were linking our codes as to how these parallel with our twin flames. I'll be talking more about this into the book that I'm writing on this, but how the merger of this rainbow color, this bridge, is in reverse with your twin, and how the alignment of the chakras and the alignments of the colors within the rays of the rainbows, how they basically come into a mirror image of your twin in reverse of what you are. Okay, and I know that kind of sounds like it's very much deep depth, so I don't want to go into that here. If it comes up to share with you before I get it out in the book, I will. But know that this whole process parallels your twin down to your color rays, and your energy basically is your energy template with your twin and how they link and how they connect. So got like the scientific background to show you how you link to your twin and how that connects. So anyway, you're resurrecting into the Golden Gate Bridge, which is really basically then taking you into the rapture, which is the third part of this ascension process. Keeping in mind, the hardest to get through is the rebirth. Once you get through the rebirth and then you get into going into the resurrection and you're making that connection, you're getting the awareness, you're integrating everything within your mind, your heart, your body, your soul, and things are implementing within your life, then basically the rapture becomes your entrance into the golden city of the heaven on earth I was referring to. That is when you are reaping your rewards and you're attracting everything towards you in the vibration that you are, because you're in alignment with yourself. You've restored the oneness within you, within your heart. And if you've not watched a video that I've created way long time ago, a couple years ago, make sure to have a link to this, is Return to Oneness playlist. And even if for some reason I don't get back to add it, make sure to check the Return to Oneness playlist that I have, because that's going to explain to you some of these pieces that even were coming through then that I'm sharing with you in a bigger picture now. It just took all of that information to bring it together to this. Basically, you know, when you look at the bigger picture, this is sort of like the promised land. This is what we've been guaranteed for, like, accomplishing this mission and this assignment, is to experience this sense of what do you desire. And this is where so many people are at, and this is why I keep talking so much over and over and over about what do you want? What do you want? What do you want? What do you want? So, because when you get in the vortex, everything's going to show up for you, good and bad. It's going to show up from a place of things you wanted 5 years ago to things you wanted but you didn't even think would exist. The problem is there's more there than you can see, and your mind can't construct it because you're only human, and you have more to be delivered to you than you can comprehend. So this is what we have to get out of our own way and allow and be open to receiving and to believing in this process, and you will be showered with these gifts of and these blessings that will continue to show up, and to realize at this stage of the game you have merged with yourself, with Source, and you've become this version of yourself that really comes to this huge awakening. And I just kind of really hit here, and even though I've known this and I've said this for so long, I'm like, wow, I really am the creator. And what happens is then it gets a little confusing, because when everything shows up, things might be showing up that's an old timeline, an old version of you, but it's still coming in. And now you need to look at what is your highest timeline, what's the highest version of you, and what's going to support you going forward at the highest version of who you are to become, even not even who you are today. Because, you know, we are speeding and going through this so rapidly, and this is an opportunity then for you to implement your new identity, to like bring that into form and to live out your highest truth. And then the fourth part of this is the reunion. The reunion comes down to, first of all, the union of self. Okay, that is you coming into this union within that then aligns you with, I said, the Source. It also then brings towards you this alignment of restoring relationships with family, all partners, and it makes an impact on the collective assignment that we all chose. Or think of this reunion as a family reunion, and everybody's returned home from the war, and it's the homecoming, right? You know, I don't know where I come from, we have a homecoming. People went to war, and every year now they still celebrate the homecoming of the return, right? This is the return. This is even what I've been shown as that return of the divine masculine, the return, and when I say the return of the divine masculine, and the rise of the feminine is just coming through. I'm going to make sure to add that so that both things are happening. The divine masculine in that 7-year rapture period went into silence in order to give the feminine an ability to rise up. Okay, so it's the rise of Lemuria and the return of Atlantis is the way I heard this about almost 3 years ago now. And, you know, and again, those codes and those understandings make even more sense to me now than ever. But that masculine had to sort of go into this silent state because of the destruction, because of the bigger scale of, I talked about this in the last video, of the masculine destruction. So the masculine energy had to like take a step away to empower the feminine energy, so the feminine energy could create the, and this is collectively, but we did this individually too, to rise up out of these ashes to become the highest version of the feminine power, because the feminine power empowerment is going forward. And then how this is restoring the harmony between reunions of self, or unions of self, reunions with beloveds, and then with experiencing that with families and all relationships, and redefining new relationships and partners, and then the collective, is that when we take this masculine destruction that we're rewriting, RIGHT, from the past, and then we're taking the feminine wounds of being wounded in the past, the way they come together, I'm going to use this, say, within yourself. So your inner art, as we as divine feminine, the majority of us anyway, have had wounded masculines inside. Therefore, our masculines around us have had wounds, and they can't fulfill what we've needed because they're wounded, because our inner masculine is wounded. So what we've had to do is heal our own inner masculine to support, protect, and secure our inner feminine, to give our inner feminine the sense of empowerment, freedom, possibility, purpose, voice, truth, confidence, so the feminine can rise up in such a way to restore and regain the empowerment that's going to implement and to express in such a way that we are expressing who we are on every level, mind, body, spirit, heart, that I was talking about, and soul. And then by us doing that is then now our feminines are healed. So now the feminine power is helping the masculine heal their feminine wounds because they've been emotionally emasculated and they don't know how to express themselves and they don't know how to connect to that loving, soft side of this new earth energy. So by us healing our inner feminine, it's helping the masculine then heal their wounds of their feminine so that they can learn to tap into a side of themselves emotionally and express themselves emotionally with vulnerability without the fear of being shunned, because it's not okay to have that side of you as a man. Not to mention that the mothers emotionally emasculated these men that have don't know how to provide emotional stability for the feminine. So by us then becoming and restoring the divine masculine within that protects the feminine rises. This is flipping the divine masculine energy of that. The last video I talked about the age of Pisces and the collective masculine energy, and we're just breaking down that structure. This is why that masculine had to go away for us to do this, to heal that on this side of the feminine side. And now it's pulling, the masculines are waking up like flies, and their inner feminine is restoring and awakening, that is then allowing them to learn how to be a balanced man, to show up for the feminine in harmony, to create the reunions, to create the bridge here of the hearts, two hearts. And then we get to all bring home the gold, and we all get to experience heart harmony within unions and reunions of beloveds, which is the return of Eden that we're restoring, of experiencing orgasmic bliss at its highest state with divine love. And so, wow, this is just so beautiful. It's getting me so excited because this is all coming to life for me, of these things I've been working on for so long. This will probably turn out to be longer than I thought, but I hope you enjoy it. Make sure to let me know what you think about these topics, and stay tuned for the next video, because I will be picking up on this concept and sharing with you more about those 11 stages and 11 steps and different relationships. So comment, share the shine, subscribe, and may you always face your fears, find freedom, and glow forward on fire. Namaste.